Welcome back, everyone, to today's Explainer. We're jumping straight into the deep end today. We are tracking a massive architectural shift happening right now. We're talking about the leap from AI that just, generates text to AI that can autonomously execute complex, real-world goals. If you've been wondering exactly how AI is making the jump from a helpful little assistant to a fully independent worker, well, you're absolutely in the right place.
To really see this, just think about the sheer difference between these two prompts. If you ask a standard chatbot, hey, is gold a good investment? You'll get a nice essay on historical facts and figures. But what if you commanded a system to, quote, invest 5 lakh rupees in gold when conditions are favorable, and then actually expected it to do it on your behalf? I mean, that's a completely different universe, right? Let's break down exactly how that second command is actually becoming a reality.
So, here's our roadmap for the Explainer. We're going to cover the limits of generative AI, introduce AI agents, use a tech team analogy to make sense of the scaling, break down agentic architecture, and finally, chart the whole evolution of AI. By the end of this, you'll have a perfect grasp on the tech making proactive, goal-driven AI possible.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the limits of generative AI. We've got to look at the foundational tech we're all using right now, and more importantly, where it hits a structural brick wall.
So, generative AI. At its core, this is the branch of AI we use to generate content. Text, images, audio, code, the whole shebang. The engine driving all this, as we know, are large language models, or LLMs. Models like GPT, Claude, Gemini, Llama, they're the brains here. But here is the absolutely crucial catch. These systems are fundamentally reactive. Their entire job completely ends the exact second the content is generated. You ask, it answers, and then, in that reactive nature, it ties directly into another major architectural bottleneck, the knowledge cutoff date. Because these LLM brains are trained on massive but static sets of data, their knowledge literally freezes on a specific day. Say a model has a cutoff date of September 2024. It has zero direct access to anything after that. So if you ask it for today's live gold price, it fundamentally cannot tell you. Why? Because it lacks the autonomy to go out and use external tools, like a search engine or a financial API. Without those tools, it's basically blind to the present moment.
Which brings us right up against the ultimate wall of generative AI. Let's look back at that command. When the price drops below 10,000 rupees per gram, purchase 10 grams of gold and send me a confirmation email. A standard Gen AI tool? No way. It simply can't do it. It structurally lacks the ability to independently break that down into actions, like constantly monitoring a live market, actually executing the trade, and firing off an email. It is practically zero autonomy.
And that perfect storm of limitations brings us to Section 2, enter the AI agents. This is the precise technological bridge developers are using to cross that reactive gap we just talked about.
So, what exactly is an AI agent? Unlike your basic generative AI, agents are specialized units built with a much higher level of autonomy. They don't just sit there and generate text, they actually take independent actions. And, critically, they are specifically designed to use external and internal tools. With standard Gen AI, you literally have to hold its hand step by step. But in AI agent, you hand it a task and it actually figures out the steps to get it done itself.
To make this super concrete, think about a normal chatbot versus an Amazon customer support AI agent. If you ask a standard bot, hey, where's my package? It's just guessing based on static memory. But the Amazon AI agent, it doesn't guess. It autonomously reaches into Amazon's internal databases, queries the live shipping APIs, verifies the status, and then gets back to you. It's performing multiple independent actions using specialized tools completely on its own.
All right, moving on to Section 3, the tech team analogy. I want to ground this complex architecture in something we all know, a standard corporate analogy, so we can really visualize how this stuff scales up.
Picture your standard tech team. You've got individual, highly specialized engineers, right? A front-end dev, a back-end dev, a DevOps person. These engineers are exactly like our individual AI agents. They are incredibly skilled, but they are totally laser-focused on their specific tasks. But sitting above them is the project manager, who coordinates the whole team to actually deliver the software. That project manager? That is Agentic AI. It's the overarching system managing all those individual players.
Which leads us straight into our main focus today. Section 4, Agentic AI Architecture Explained. This is the framework where we stop looking at isolated tasks and start tackling massive, complex goals. Here's the definitive breakdown. While those individual AI agents are strictly task-focused, an agentic AI architecture is fundamentally goal-focused.
It's the master system. It takes a huge, complex goal, uses multi-step reasoning to intelligently chop it up into smaller, bite-sized tasks, and then delegates those tasks to a team of specialized agents. And the best part? It manages that entire collaboration with almost zero human intervention.
Let's bring back our gold investment example to see this in action. The big goal is invest 5 lakh rupees in gold. The Agentic AI kicks in with its multi-step reasoning. Step 1, it deploys a market monitoring agent to continuously watch live prices via external APIs. Step 2, a financial advisor agent jumps in to set the strategy based on your portfolio. Step 3, an execution agent waits for the exact perfect moment and places the order. Step 4, another agent fires off the confirmation email. Boom, you've got multiple autonomous agents working together seamlessly under one agentic roof to nail your big goal.
So, looking at these two architectures side by side really highlights the shift. On the left, generative AI. It is reactive, hyper-focused on isolated tasks, and has basically zero autonomy. On the right, the new frontier, agentic AI. It's fiercely proactive, totally goal-focused, and operates with massive autonomy. This is the exact pivot happening in the industry right now. We are evolving from a digital assistant that just sits there waiting for a prompt into a digital manager that actively executes your vision.
And look, just to be clear, this is not science fiction. Developers are building these architectures as we speak, using real-world frameworks. We're talking Microsoft AutoGen, CrewAI, Agno, LangGraph. These are the literal building blocks of the autonomous future, actively managing all that complex reasoning and tool usage behind the scenes today.
All right, let's wrap things up with Section 5, the evolution of AI. We really need to zoom out for a second and just visualize how far up the ladder of complexity we've actually climbed.
When you trace this evolution, the sheer sophistication of what machines can do now is just mind-blowing. We started with basic AI, systems that mimicked human intelligence for stuff like Face ID or your Netflix queue. Then we leveled up to generative AI, mastering content creation. After that came individual AI agents, capable of isolated actions and using tools. And now we are standing right at the frontier of agentic AI, where these overarching architectures are managing incredibly complex, collaborative goals.
Which really leaves us with this one final thought. As we watch this unbelievable architectural shift happen, as AI fully transforms from a reactive tool waiting around for a prompt into a proactive, independent goal achiever, the real question isn't just what the technology can do anymore. The real question is, how much autonomy are we truly willing to hand over to our new digital project managers? Thank you so much for joining me to unpack the research on this explainer. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I will see you in the next one.